Have you ever loved someone so much, only for them to turn on you when you needed them most? She hurt you deeply, and now you're left in the silence, wondering where it all went wrong. The pain is unbearable, and every part of you just wants to react, to shout, to confront, to make her understand the hurt she caused. But here's the truth. Reacting is exactly what she wants. What if I told you that your silence could change everything? That by staying calm, you could flip the script entirely and take control of this situation? What if you could break free from the emotional chains she's trying to tie you without lifting a finger? This isn't just a trick or a game. It's a powerful, Stoic approach to handling the pain that comes from someone you love who hurts you. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could be the key to unlocking emotional freedom and turning the tide in your love life. Subscribe, like, and watch this video until the end, because this is going to change the way you see yourself, her, and your entire relationship. Don't let this moment slip by. 1. She expects you to react. How about I ask you a personal question? Can you pinpoint the precise second she caused you pain? Not just any old debate, but that one that really shook you to your core. Perhaps she spoke a statement that caught you off guard. Perhaps she treated you as though you were an alien. Maybe she said nothing at all, and it was more dramatic than any amount of words could have conveyed. Please hold on a second. Return to that same time. Take it all in. Your heart is constricted, your mind is jumbled, and your eyes are burning. I thought she was betting that you would snap. She thought you were going to lose it, yell, and sob, in order to implore her to remain. In pursuit of her, she anticipated taking full responsibility of your response. Since it would demonstrate she has complete command over your feelings, you are not obligated to grant her such authority according to Stoicism. No need to put on a show only to ease her suffering. The emotional brain demands vengeance whenever someone wrongs you, particularly if they have harmed someone you care about. They should be able to sense your emotions. Let them witness the depth of your anguish. However, she anticipates a reaction triggered by intense pain. This is a trap, a trial run, and failing it will just serve to further cement her authority over you. Your emotional response validates her, and I know it hurts to hear. For her, it's a way to feel as like she has a spiritual hold on you. I have to ask, is that your desire? To bestow such authority on the one who broke you? On the other hand, are you more comfortable remaining still as the tempest rages all around you? You are not weak for that. That is power. Not often either. She finds it so unusual that she becomes perplexed. If a man doesn't respond as she anticipates, gets her confused, this leads her to question, hold on, did I actually let him go? Is he completely ignoring me? The other ones have chased me. Why hasn't he? Reclaiming your power begins at that point. Not via battling her, but through refusing to play her game. Consider it. Has exploding ever alleviated heartache? Has pleading ever restored genuine affection? How feeling weaker is the only outcome. The narrative shifts, though. When you do nothing, when you stop, breathe, and opt to keep your calm, suddenly her actions are no longer affecting you as a victim. The following chapter is one that you write. She will be observing. Believe me. Also, something she didn't anticipate, remorse, would begin to creep into her subconscious. 2. Your silence breaks her control. Okay, let's delve a little farther. Ever tried to convey your deepest thoughts and feelings in a message, paragraph, or essay, only to have them met with complete silence? No response. The screen was covered in a frigid, lifeless stillness. Recall the sensation of that? Now picture the situation inverted. Her actions caused you pain. Despite her attempts to humiliate you, manipulate your emotions, and breach your confidence, she gets no response when she searches for it. Send no threatening messages. No messages. Complete absence of postings. Everything is calm. No sound at all. That stillness, though, there is substance to it. Absolute power. Listen, it's painful when the person who previously provided you with everything suddenly stops talking to you. Your late-night conversations stick in her mind, like you used to do when you were worried about her. To hear you say, "I love you," in that particular tone of voice, then, after everything, the quiet hits her like a ton of bricks. Your performance has come to a halt, she suddenly realizes. You're not moving to her music anymore. For someone who derives strength from feeling in charge, that is unsettling. You are not intending to cause her harm. Choosing calm over response is all you're doing, and that is the essence of Stoicism. No matter how much the outside world attempts to shatter you, you must always keep your inner world intact. I have a question for you now. How much more audible is it? Is it a guy wailing out in pain or one who walks away quietly? Shoulders back hurt but whole. What remains is the stillness. The lack of sound causes her to second-guess her choices. Reason being, she cannot find peace in stillness. She gets no answers from remaining silent. In the midst of all that chaos, you find your inner power again. So keep this in mind the next time she anticipates an angry reaction from you. You are not present to validate her wrongdoing. You aren't meant to be her emotional pawn. You're a man who knows how to manage his own thoughts. Plus, you surprise her with the message you give when you opt to remain silent, not because you're spiteful, but because you're disciplining yourself. You have no power over me now. 3, she will start to doubt herself. Excuse me as I ask you a personal question. Ever stayed up till 2 in the morning, looking at the ceiling and reliving every moment? It chuckles. Enormous discourses. Remember her expression when she said, "You're mine"? What comes next? She departed, cold, far away, like it was all for naught, and you can't help but wonder, did she truly love me? What if, however, I revealed that she is currently asking herself the same question? The most surprising part, which most guys miss, is you sow the seed of doubt inside her when you remain mute, when you cease reacting, when you withdraw your emotional energy. She will first act as if it has no impact on her. Images will be shared by her. With pals, she will laugh. To prove she has moved on, she may even start seeing someone else. What about the quiet you offered her? It begins to murmur in her thoughts. She finds herself pondering, how come he isn't after me? Did he ever truly care for me? Oh my, was it really me who messed up anything substantial? And that uncertainty starts to intensify. She is well aware of her continued influence when you respond emotionally. But when you keep your cool and don't chase after her, you end up being a mystery. The fact is that mystery has greater power than love. Why? Because she goes from being in charge to being the one who starts to doubt her own abilities. Your faithfulness begins to resurface in her mind. Your entrance when you saw her, the way you brought her comfort in an otherwise dangerous environment. Remember those times? She feels trapped by them. Now here's something I want you to keep in mind. In how many instances did you prioritize her? The type of love that most men struggle to put into words. How many times have you shown it to her? She felt emotionally secure with you. Moreover, that area is no longer there, and she will want to fill it with diversion, transitory companions, and false affirmation, but you're unique among them all. She begins to question her decision at that same moment. Oh, and I can sense that you might be wondering, what if, however, she is indifferent? She does, I see, no matter how much she denies it. Simply said, no woman ever forgets a man who stood firm even after she rejected him. You are under no need to prove anything to her according to Stoicism. She starts to distrust you more the more you maintain your grounding. So what about that uncertainty? You get control of it. For reasons of dignity, not vengeance. Making her miss you isn't mending. Reminding yourself of your value is the main objective. 4. When she tries to pull you back. Now we'll turn the tables once more. Silence now envelops you. You're ready to take the next step. You've given up pursuing. She reaches out at the same moment that you begin to regain your breath. It can just be a casual hey. Perhaps an antique photograph appeals to her. She may write something really inane like, I was thinking of you because I saw your favorite song. She attempts to entice you back in the blink of an eye. Why don't you tell me this? When you were beginning to get over an ex, did they ever return at the last minute? That's not haphazard. There's a trend there. It also occurs when she notices you're not there for her emotionally anymore. When she no longer senses your vitality, she begins to long for it. The problem is that her return isn't always motivated by love. She occasionally feels unappreciated. The part of herself that felt loved by you is long gone, and you'll re-enter the vicious cycle that destroyed you if you aren't cautious. Please be completely forthright with yourself now. I miss you, she may say on the phone right this second. So what's your plan? So, would you give in to her embrace once more? On the other hand, do you recall the times you wept for her? Did she disregard those messages? The manner in which she devalued you? Reason being, resisting temptation has nothing to do with healing. It's about going with your gut even when it feels like you should give in. We learn this essential principle from Stoicism. A second opportunity isn't necessarily warranted just because someone comes back. Think about this the next time she tries to yank you back. Has she actually evolved? On the other hand, Does she long for the days when you were willing to give up all for her, and her homecoming will be nothing more than a mirage if she hasn't done the work emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually? Here we go again. At this stage, the majority of guys crumble. By yes, they imply again in their minds. The silence, though, is where the power lies. I still care about you, but I care about myself more now, is the way to put it. That will be obvious to her if she values you highly. If not, she'll be gone forever, and you'll let her this time painlessly. No need to plead. Keep your identity intact. The time is now, right? You've changed since she went. You've grown, and the dreadful realization will hit her as she attempts to yank you back. Her services are no longer required. And what about that insight? She'll either be motivated to step up her game or decide to leave you altogether. It makes no difference. You come out on top. 5. Mastering emotional detachment. I have a very personal question for you. Is there a moment when the silence of someone you loved hurt more than any words they could say? Have you ever waited for someone to say anything? Anything while staring at your phone? Do you remember how it felt when they didn't? Like something inside of you broke? Yeah, I felt the agony too. This isn't just your tale. It belongs to everyone. This is mine. It's the story of every man who fell victim to his own passionate love affair. Picture this then. Once upon a time there lived a man named Arav. She received everything from Arav. When he's ready, he is faithful. Aspirations of his. He recalled the little pleasures she took pleasure in, her infectious laughter, and the way she clung to him as if he were her refuge. But suddenly, she stopped being there. Call volume decreased. Over time, the messages became less engaging. All of a sudden, he became more of a choice than a priority for her. That change? This almost broke him. He implored. A greater effort was made by him. Perhaps she'll return if I love her more, he thought to himself. Her actions, however, were non-existent. At that moment, Arav came upon a straightforward yet profound Stoic principle. The one who enrages you has control over you. Something changed in him instantly. Why? Because the fact is, you don't have to give up who you are to love. Giving someone the ability to shatter you whenever they feel like it is not love. Coldness is not the essence of emotional detachment. It's all about finding peace. You see, being emotionally detached doesn't imply that you cease to feel anything. It signifies that you cease to be controlled by your emotions. Arav stopped responding to her lack of speech after he started practicing it. He stopped giving each message too much thought. After years of neglect, he finally began to give his whole attention to himself. Behold, a miracle transpired. The weight had lifted off him. Have greater command, relatively calm. Guess what? Simply said, your power is restored the moment you learn to detach. Living for her love no longer matters. What matters is that you live for your peace. I want you to consider the following question now. How much of your focus and attention has she recently demanded from you? What is the frequency with which you check her last seen? What is the frequency of your mail deletions? And how has it benefited you thus far? Anxiety is the only thing. A life consumed by anxiety and uncertainty. We must end this pattern now. Practicing emotional detachment is like escaping a mental jail. It boils down to the following statement. Yes, I loved you, but I love myself more now. Be sure to pay close attention as well. One thing is certain, she will notice. She will sense your release once you cease pursuing her. Her curiosity will be piqued after you cease to respond. Her faith in you will erode the moment you no longer make her your emotional rock. Not by harming her or putting tricks on her, but when you win, that's when. In the end, though, I want to pick you. Accordingly, I will inquire once again. Can you finally release the pain? For someone who pays no attention to your wounds, are you prepared to put an end to your bleeding? Because when you learn to separate yourself emotionally, either she'll return changed or you'll see that you were wrong to ask for her, and that is true strength, my sibling. 6. When she sees you don't need her anymore, return with me to a moment when, probably you were down at rock bottom. You sat there, perhaps looking at old pictures on your phone. It was that beach vacation. No, that birthday present. That one evening when she said, assure me you won't ever depart. What comes next? Afterwards, she departed. Plus, you wondered, how is she able to move on so quickly? I don't understand how she can be smiling when I'm in pain. Nonetheless, I'm going to spill the beans on something crucial, something nobody warned me about when I really needed it. The pain of loss will hit her the second she realizes she is no longer indispensable to you. A man named Jay is there. Just like you, Jay loved deeply. His world came crashing down when his sweetheart left him. Gaining her return was his goal. He expressed regret for actions he had taken no part in. Softness, he reasoned, would solve everything. However, this was not the case. She felt sorry for him, but she didn't love him. Since this is the unpalatable reality, passion dies when a person is needy. Yet Jay evolved, not to win her heart, but to get his strength back. He began exercising regularly. He began to devote time to study, travel, meditation, and reading. He ceased verifying her tales and began penning his own. She began to notice it gradually. Someone wrote, "Hey, you seem different." A response eluded him. It wasn't because he was being pretend. It was rather that he had changed. That stillness, though, its cries were more audible than those of any love letter. The realization that the man who grieved for her is now walking away from her hurts like hell. When a woman finds out, her pride suffers a blow, her mastery wanes, and now, for the very first time, she is afraid you will leave her. What if I made this even more intimate? Consider how deeply you identified with her. Consider the amount of time you spent telling yourself, "Without her, I'm nothing." Consider this now. You come to. Pay no attention to your phone. Your body is your temple, the thoughts that occupy it, what you envision for the future. New friends are made. Rejoice once more. Importantly, you begin to have a sense of vitality once more. All that power? The distance between you won't matter, she will sense it. Her mind will be a constant source of grief. Was that a mistake on my part? Why is he no longer after me? Has he found love with someone else? Plus that terror, you still feel the same terror that she instilled in you. However, you have changed. The Stoic view tells us to stop worrying about things we can't change. And how did she feel? And what about her remorse? Will she be back? That is no longer an issue for you. Constantly adapting is your duty, to mature into a guy who is so solid, so focused, so complete that you are no longer defined by her absence. So here is what I'll say goodbye to. The moment she realizes she is no longer necessary to you, either she'll get up and meet the new you, or she'll go away bewildered, resentful, and tormented by the guy she let go of. On one hand, you won. Conclusion: like, subscribe, and share this video with anybody you think would benefit from it if it spoke to you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.